crafting journey here, that journey chick on Instagram. Welcome to another edition of Crafting and Crime, the show where I bring you recaps of live trials going on the internet, but you also get to hear my daily vlog. Yes, and any purchases I may have made. Today, I have an unboxing of a purchase. Yep. Oh, that coffee is so good. Okay, first, let's start out with my planner. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Today, he gets to go with me to the doctor. He's going to be the chauffeur.
Oh, no!
Yeah, I don't have to drive. Okay, I'm going to have to look into buying a new planner here soon, I think. All right. I made another doctor's appointment for Thursday, and I do have another doctor's appointment sticker in here somewhere. I don't know if I'd be able to put my hands on it real quick. Maybe. Let's see. Maybe not. Oh, maybe. Look at there. Okay. Appointment. Thursday. The knee doctor. Yeah. So, be careful what you wish for, guys. So, a few years back, I had the partial knee replacement on my right knee. And after that, I was putting so much pressure on the left knee that I could barely walk. So I limp into the doctor one day for a follow-up, and he does x-rays of the other knee, and he's like, oh my God, you need a total knee replacement on that one. It's just destroyed. So I'm like, I'm going to wait because I was still recovering from this knee. Well, so I'm like looking for excuses to get out of work and stay home and craft, you know me. So jokingly said, I'll have my total knee replacement go out on, short-term disability. Now, guess what's acting up? The knee. Yeah, it's buckling on me if I put too much pressure on it. Well, one, because I'm a big shouldered girl, I got to lose some of that shoulder. And I think today's the day that starts, because I am pretty sure my A1C, which is a measure of your blood sugar, it's a measure of your blood sugar levels over time, the A1C is. So I have a feeling that's not going to be so good, because I love me some sugar. I need to stop with the sugar, yeah. So ortho doctor appointment on Thursday. And that is at 9 a.m., which means I won't be at work all morning. Oh, yep. Oh, wow. Yeah. So that is my planner. I didn't need this. I don't know why I had that out. Okay. Here's what I got in the mail. So I am participating. I decided the crochet poncho that I'm making, it's almost done. I'm adding a 5th skein to it because I'm 5'10" and I need it to be longer. So I'm adding the 5th skein to that, and I'm at the point where each row is really long now, because every time you go around, you're increasing every row by 2 stitches. So it's, it's taken me a little while to get the length on this thing, but I should be done with it by March 1st. So March 1st starts a new cross stitch along with Bag-A-Day. She's doing this cross stitch along, and I will put the link to her channel down below. So here is what the cross stitch is. I'm so excited. So of course, but first, so for Mary Maxim, I had to order this because it's my absolute favorite yarn. This Bernay Pop, and I ordered 3 skeins. No, I ordered 4 skeins of it. This is Bernay Pop, and it's an acrylic yarn. I don't think it's a blend. Yeah, it's 100% acrylic, but I just love the colorway on it. You know, the pinks, the purples, and I have made other things with this yarn, and it just works up beautifully, and it feels magnificent. So I got 4 skeins of that. I've been wanting it for a while. I first bought this at Joann's, God, probably a year or so ago, when they had a sale on Bernay Pop. Otherwise, they don't sell Bernay Pop. Apparently they just got some in to have a sale. I don't know. So I went and bought some. They've never had it since then. So I got some at Mary Maxim. What is your problem, Stitch? Stitch, what's going on, buddy? What's going on? Come here. You want to go up in the basket? I can put you in the basket. No? Okay. No, not interested. All right, let's put that off to the side here. So that was just like an added bonus. So back to the crochet along. This is going to be a baby blanket out of the Sesame Street characters. Now, let me just start out by saying, I'm not having a baby. Nobody in my family's having a baby. I don't know anybody that's having a baby. But I thought it was so darn cute that I wanted to participate. It starts at the beginning of March. There are 9 Sesame Street characters. So you had to order one of this Lion brand. What do they call it? What should they call this? One Hat Wonders. So one of each character. So this is, I haven't seen Sesame Street in so long. I don't remember all the characters. All right, there's Cookie Monster. Let's see if we can get him to set up straight. We've got Ernie. I remember Ernie. Oh, he's gonna fall over. Okay, come on. Stand up. Stand up there. There's Ernie. Ernie's gonna fall over. Or is that Bert? No, that's Ernie. I was right. Okay, then we have Grover. This is the Super Grover. He's dressed up like a superhero. Okay, there's Grover. Then we have, this is Oscar the Grouch. Am I right? Oscar, yeah, I remember Oscar. And this one is, oh my goodness, Elmo. How did we forget Elmo? And they all have different color schemes, colorways. Abby Cadabby, this is my favorite. Now, I'm not familiar with this character. This one must have come along after my kids were grown and my grandkids. This is Count Von Count. Count Von Count. Oh my goodness. You guys. All right, we have more. Here's Bert. Ernie and Bert. And one more. Okay. Big Bird! How could we forget Big Bird? Okay, so we have all 9 of these Sesame Street characters. So each week, for 9 weeks, she's going to do 1 square, and each character gets a square on this blanket. And then she's actually mixing in a white color. Now, I haven't decided what color I'm going to mix in to actually attach all of the squares. But I just love that she's, this is actually going to be part of the blanket. How cute is that? So I'll make sure I'll show you my progress as I go through each week. So this will go on for 9 weeks. So yeah, this one is the orange and yellow. Then we have this one, which is blues and yellows. I mean, they're just all different colors, greens and oranges. I'm going to put them back as I talk about it. So check out her channel, and I will tell you, these are hard to find now. Mary Maxim was having a sale on them. They sold out pretty quickly. I know Narrate is going to be doing this with me. She was able to find them somewhere else. She had to get them from a few different places, so good luck finding them if you want to participate. But I'm sure the companies will be getting more in. Unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, Bag a Day is a very popular channel. So a lot of people are going to be doing this crochet along because it's just so super cute. Like I said, I have no babies coming along, but I wanted the blanket for me. There. I love this one. It's in purples, greens, and blacks. And Oscar is green and white. Elmo is red and black and white. Of course, you know which one's my favorite. And then Cookie Monster's, of course, blues. And Grover is red, white, and blue. Very patriotic of Grover. Abby is in pinks. Abby. Yeah, 9 of these. I could have just done all Abbies. 9 Abbies. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. And I'll make sure that I'm keeping you posted on my progress there. So I got to finish up that poncho. I hope this is enough for a project, these 4. I haven't decided what project, but yeah, this is going to be another project for another day. If the cats don't get to it first, right? So my sister says to me, you're not doing any crafting and crime. You're just doing crime. So what's going on here? So I decided I'll bring out my crochet. It's hard to get the diamond painting out because, you know, I got to get out pens and trays and the diamonds and, you know, and then I've got this thing on an angle and it's sliding off and yeah, so I'll just sit and crochet. So this is the poncho that I was talking about. This is what's left of the skein number 4. So here is the poncho. You see what I mean? It's not long enough, but I am loving these colors. Really, really loving the orange and the pink and the lavender. It's more like a wine than a lavender, but I sure do love it. Anyway, let's talk about crafting and crime daily. The day after Super Bowl, we get crime. Yeah, so we got to see the opening statements in the Curtis Reeve trial. Christopher Reeves was Superman, right? This is Curtis Reeves, not Superman. All right, this is the ex-police officer, you know, the movie theater popcorn. We're going to call it the movie theater popcorn trial. So this happens on January 13th, 2014. Chad and Nicole Olsen, young couple, they got a 22-month child at home. Cute little blonde girl. Here's a picture of them. She's like 5'2". He's 6 foot. What did they say he was? 6 foot. He's a tall guy. 6'4". Yeah. And what an adorable couple. They've been married for like 7 years. They moved to Florida. You know why? I don't know. But they moved to Florida. They live in this area, the Land O'Lakes area. And she works for an insurance company. He works for a sporting goods sales company. And, you know, they're living a nice little life. So she had to work every 3rd Saturday at her job. So she had just worked this past Saturday. Now, January 13th, it's a Monday. So they decide, she says, I'm going to take Monday off since I worked Saturday. So they decide they're going to put their daughter in daycare. Where she worked, they had a daycare. And so they put their little daughter in the daycare. And she was used to it. She had been going to daycare since she was 6 weeks old. Then they come back home and they're like, we want to spend the day together. So they go to Cracker Barrel for breakfast. How cute. I love Cracker Barrel. And after breakfast, they go to the mall. They went to an outdoor mall, and they were just walking up and down, they decided while they were at Cracker Barrel, hey, we're going to go see a movie. And I was really curious, like, what movie was it that these people were going to go see? And they finally did say it was Lone Survivor. Now, I never saw this movie in 2014. This was the story of 4 Navy SEALs on a covert mission to neutralize a high-level Taliban member. So like a war thing with all these good-looking, gorgeous men that are all famous now. I don't remember who they were, but oh yeah, really, so that's what they were going to go see. And the movie started about 1:20. So they went to the mall just to kind of walk around until the movie started. So then they go to the theater and they buy their tickets, and it was in theater number 10. Now, theater number 10 is what they call this, uh, there's a name for it, but it's also got a cafe in it. So if you look at the theater, there's all the seats, and then it kind of stops 3/4 of the way up. And then behind this wall is a cafe. So you can go sit in the cafe and you can order a meal and watch your movie. So this was, I don't even think the cafe was open. This was a matinee movie. So they decide they're going to sit in the second to the last seat before that wall. Now, nobody was there at the time that they get there, so because they got there pretty early, and they're sitting down, they're chit-chatting, and her husband was showing her a meme that he found on Facebook about football, some kind of football meme about Super Bowl rings, and so they're sitting there, and they're chit-chatting, and he's, looking at, scrolling through Facebook, and all of a sudden there's a guy behind them who sat actually directly behind her. So she's sitting in one chair, her husband is sitting to her right, and Curtis Reeves is sitting directly behind her. So at one point he reaches over, he leans over, and he tells him, could you please turn the phone off? And her husband looks at him and says, he turns this way, and he's like, dude, what's your problem? The movie hasn't even started yet. So then so Curtis Reeves gets up, and he's like, he leaves the theater. So they're thinking, oh, okay, they're not worried about it. They don't know why he left. Figured maybe he'd gone to get some popcorn or whatever. So it comes back, and by then the announcements had said, turn your phone off, and the credits, not the credits, but the previews were starting. So he had turned his phone off, Chad, and Curtis comes back and sits down behind the wife again. And he leans over and he says, oh, I see you turned your phone off. I guess I didn't need to go to the management. And so, of course, her husband turns around and says, dude, what is your problem? Says it again. Dude, what is your problem? My phone is off. He goes, I was just checking to see if there were any messages about my daughter. So next thing you know, he starts to stand up. Her husband starts to stand up. Chad. So Nicole, she takes a stand yesterday, and I'm blending all this together. It was the opening statements, and it was her testimony. So she starts to stand up. Her husband is going this way. She's going this way. So they're kind of like going together. She stands up with him, and she's putting her hand up to kind of like, hey, sit back down, let's not make a big, in her mind, she's thinking, hey, so just as she's on her waist to stand up, she hears a bang, and she feels she says, my hand was on fire. So she said she's heard gunshots before, and she knew it was a gunshot, but she just didn't put it all together. Next thing she looks, her husband is stumbling down the aisle and then collapses. Now, the theater lights come on, and everybody's rushing to help him. There was a nurse in the theater, and there was ex-police officers in the theater. So, and then Curtis Reeves just sits down in his chair like this with the gun in his lap. Just sits there waiting to be apprehended. She just sits there. Now, he is charged with second-degree murder. So there's no intent that the state has to prove. All they have to prove is that someone is dead. Now we know that Chad passed away, that he committed an act that was eminently dangerous to another person. Well, obviously, yes. And that he did it with a depraved mind. Now, one thing the prosecutor brought up in his opening statements that I thought was interesting is that the gun did not misfire. They checked the gun. There was nothing wrong with the gun. So I guess they were anticipating that he might have said that the gun went off accidentally, but I don't think that's really their defense. He's also charged with aggravated battery, and this is for the injury to Nicole, the wife. All they have to prove for that is that he intentionally, knowingly, and unlawfully touched or struck Nicole. So the fact that and that he had a deadly weapon is an added bonus for that charge. So anytime you unwittingly touch somebody, that's a battery. But aggravated means you've done it with a weapon, and that's what he did to Nicole. Apparently, the gun, the bullet went through her finger and into her husband. I don't know where. We'll see when the medical examiner. She said, I don't know where he was shot. I mean, at the time, I'm sure she knows now, but at the time, didn't know where he had been shot. She just knew that he was in much worse condition than her because he collapsed. She could see his eyes glaze over, and, you know, she was just beside herself. She was in shock. The defense is opening. Here's what the defense is. This is a 71-year-old man at the time. Now he's 79. He's 6'2", 270 pounds. He spent over 20 years in law enforcement, and 15 of that was on the SWAT team. Apparently, he developed the SWAT, he started the SWAT team at the police department that he was part of, and he was big into SWAT. So he certainly knows how to handle himself with a gun, and he knows all about gun safety. He's going to claim that he was hit in the head with the guy's cell phone. Now, the wife claims not to have seen any of this. She did not see that he had been hit in the head with a cell phone. And they actually checked the cell phone for... I'm crocheting. They checked the cell phone for DNA to see if Curtis Reeves' DNA was on it. You would think if it hit him in the head, his DNA would be on there. So they had the DNA report there. That was the first piece of evidence that they put in. And unfortunately, as oft happens with DNA, it was not enough DNA to be helpful. There was 3 people identified, 3 different... I forget what they call it. 3 different people, 3 different sets of DNA on the phone, but they couldn't identify whose it was. It was inconclusive. So anyway, the defense attorney is going to be blaming the fact that it was inconclusive on the police's poor handling of the evidence. Had they handled the evidence correctly, they would have been able to show that there was Curtis Reeves' DNA on this weapon. Are you buying what I'm selling here? No, me neither. Me neither. And then that this was an attack. This was not about PopCorn. This whole thing, this is what the defense is saying. This is not about PopCorn. This is about my client being attacked. He says he was attacked before that he pushed the PopCorn into him. So, and he plans to claim that this was justifiable, that this attack, Curtis Reeves felt he was justified in shooting this man because of this attack. Now, the victim is 6'4", he's 6'1". He's going to have they're going to have an expert on aging come testify about how elderly adults are very vulnerable, and they feel vulnerable, more vulnerable than everybody else. So they're going to testify about his vulnerabilities and how vulnerable he felt that he had to shoot somebody. And the defense points out that, as far as carrying the gun to begin with, he had a right to carry the gun. I think I did something wrong here. Hold on. Hold on. Maybe not. I don't know. Moving on. We're moving on. Anyway, because I just want to get this thing done. I am not frogging nothing out. It looks just fine. We are going to keep moving. It does not have to be perfect. Yep. So that is the Curtis Reeves trial. What else happened? Let me see. I think I've gone over everything that happened yesterday. Yep. Yep. Oh, I wanted to mention that on Friday, Kim Potter will be sentenced on Friday. Kim Potter is the police officer that shot and killed Dante Wright. She thought she was pulling out her taser. She actually pulled out her gun, and she was convicted of murdering Dante Wright. So the sentencing on that is Friday. And I wish I could cover it live for you guys, but I will be at work. Yep. Gotta go to work. Work. Yeah, can't do it. But I will certainly, we will certainly talk about it. Yep. On the show. I kind of sort of feel sorry for her because, I don't know, I shouldn't. She should have known that it wasn't her taser, that it was her gun she was pulling out. And I'm trying to check my feelings. Is this because she's a woman and she was crying? Is that why I feel sorry for her? If you put a man in the same position, would I be feeling sorry for him? I don't know. Anyway, Dante Wright should not have been trying to flee to begin with. That's my feelings. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So also, the other trial that was going on yesterday was the serial killer, Robert Hayes. Also took a long time to get to trial. And I got to tell you, both of these trials are incredibly boring. Robert Hayes, this is the trial where his attorney is 100 years old. So yesterday, they continued putting on, lay witnesses, people that found the bodies and knew the victims, that kind of thing. And then they put on the medical examiner. And basically what he said was that, the caliber of the bullets was the same in all three victims. They were all shot once in the head, and they all died instantly. They would not have felt any pain. But it took him a long time to testify to all this because this was like his day in court. He didn't even do these autopsies. The guy that did the autopsies has long since been gone. He passed away. So he was here on behalf of that medical examiner office to testify about the autopsies of these three women. But he had to go through, they had him stand up and point the direction of the bullet that went through, guys like, show me the direction the bullet went in. They made it a big show. Really all he had to say was, three gunshot wounds to the head, single shots, but for that single shot, they would not have died. Of course. So cause of death, single gunshot wound to the head, manner of death, homicide. There you go. Thank you, sir. You may step down now. No, they made it a big dramatic thing. So, all right. I'll go with that. Okay, that is crafting and crime for today, and I am doing one stitch at a time here. Okay, what happened this day in history? Well, first let me tell you what happened last night. My sister and I went out for dinner. We were going to go to Cracker Barrel, and we're on our way. We're like, oh, let's go somewhere else. I'm like, well, do you want to go to the Roadhouse? We've not been to the Roadhouse here. I've been to the Roadhouse that's near my son's house, but there's a Roadhouse near us. But it was very crowded, and these restaurants, they're all in the same area. I'm like, and then we're driving, and I see Cheddars, and I went to Cheddars years ago in Oklahoma, and I loved it. I'm like, let's go to this Cheddars restaurant. She's like, yeah. Now, there was, a wait. We waited 10 minutes for a seat. This little waitress, she shows us to this bench. It was this weird shaped booth that it was right next to where all the waiters and waitresses come out of the kitchen. And then the other side of the booth was the kitchen. And I'm thinking, oh dear, this is going to be interesting. And it was like not your normals. Like it looked like it was made for a family of Chinese skinny people. So I, wiggle my way into this booth, and I see, and my sister's coming, and she's like, "Oh no, this is not happening." There was no way the two of us would have been able to sit in this booth comfortably because we're big-shouldered women. So I pick up my menu and I go back out to the reception area, and I'm looking through the crowd, and everybody there is big-shouldered. I mean, this is Kansas. We're all big-shouldered. And I'm thinking, who is going to sit in this booth? So I said to the waitress, I said, "I'm sorry, but we do not fit in this booth. That booth was made for some skinny person." And she laughs and she goes, "Oh, sure, and she's like, so she puts us in a regular booth, which of course we fit in fine. Well, the food was fantastic. Oh my God, it was so good. I ordered a sirloin steak with a baked potato, and they had these honey butter croissants, and oh God, it was so delicious. Oh, and I ordered broccoli cheddar casserole. It was so yummy. I think my sister ordered coconut shrimp. It was such a nice evening. We just sat and chit chatted, and now we don't drink, so the drinks looked wonderful. They had a drink there called Poison. I don't know. Limit 2. You can't only have 2. I'm thinking, I don't think I want one because I'm driving. So no, I just drank some peach iced tea, and it was a nice night out. And then I got home. I was exhausted. Yesterday was a very long day for me. When you got to go into the office. Yeah. I kept my iPad closed. I did not go onto my iPad at work. But I listened to the trials on my phone. Yep, I did. Anyhow, that is the show for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content of the show. Yes, I'm still teasing Saturday night. There's something special coming up. Cheryl and I are going to record the invite for that today and get it out so you guys know what the heck you're reserving Saturday night for. But trust me, you're going to want to reserve Saturday night. Yes. All right, guys. I love you all. See you in Ticket to Ride. Take care.